There's no denying that Texas is a melting pot of cultures, with lots of towns known for their Spanish, Mexican, even German roots. And while Texas was once ruled by the French, there are no Texas towns that showcase our state's distinctively Frankian connection. Well, no towns, that is, but one.
Welcome to Castroville, a taste of Alsace.
This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Less than 2 hours southwest of Austin, but only 30 minutes west of San Antonio, you'll find Castroville, Texas. At first glance, you'll see all the trappings of a small Texas town, but with a few twists, namely this visitor center, which looks straight out of a Disney movie. Ah, the gates! And welcome! I'll come down. What do you think? I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Chet, you don't look very Texan. But here in Castroville, I'm 100% Texan and 100% Alsatian at the same time. You see, this very old community was settled by people from Alsace, France, making it one of the only truly French communities in the state of Texas. And to this day, they still carry on with lots of French pride and tradition. Do they parlez-vous français? Oh, no. They parlez-vous Alsatian. This is an Alsatian dance, I just learned it. We might need some explanation. This is the Steinbach House, built in Alsace, France in the 1600s and gifted to Castroville to recognize their long-established relationship. Alsace is a very distinct region of France on the border with Germany. They have their own identity, culture, language, and charm. In fact, it was towns in Alsace that inspired Disney's Beauty and the Beast cartoon. Little town, it's a quiet village. I'll save y'all from the rest of that. We're overdue for some breakfast, and today that means Alsatian breakfast at Haby's Alsatian Bakery. Oh yeah, love the smell of a hometown bakery. So Haby's has been operating since 1940. They got a lot of stuff that you would find in just a traditional small town bakery. Being Alsatian, they also have a couple of those old school family recipes as well. This is co-owner Ann Duran, who with her brother Walter and other family members run this Castroville institution. Gosh, this place is busy.
We stay busy all day long from 5 in the morning till 7 in the evening.
7?
Yes.
Most bakeries close at like 2 or so.
No, we are full to most parts of the day.
Every day, the bakers start before sunrise, making hand-decorated cookies, donuts, and all the fuel that keeps Castroville running, including their own tastes of their homeland. Now we're journeying to Europe. Okay.
Yes, we'll have apple and cherry strudels, croissants.
Now that's very French.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, strudel, is that more of a German thing?
It is a little bit more German, but Alsatian is a combination of French and German.
See.
So we bring a little bit of both to it.
I love it. Can I just take this tray?
You can take the tray.
This will fit in the truck, right? They have fresh-made danishes in every flavor. And as a French bakery, well, of course they have.
We have our traditional French loaf of bread.
Okay.
It makes wonderful French toast.
Of course. Once you get French toast made with actual French bread, there's no going back.
Yes, it's the best.
There's no going back.
It is the best.
So this is like old school French recipe.
Yes, came down through the 1940s.
Okay.
Passed along from baker to baker.
This one's mine.
You can have it.
I'm gonna take this one home. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Do you speak Alsatian?
I just speak a few words.
Got it. Are there old timers in town who still speak
My father
it?
still speaks it, yes. And there's still a few more.
Teach me a word.
I know a little phrase, Lubishashani Maidla.
Lubishashani Maidla.
Maidla, you are a pretty girl.
Oh, well, thank you
Growing
very
up,
much.
Growing up, that was something we would hear as little girls.
I'll save that one for the right time. At this point, we need to get loaded up so we can get to tripping. Good news, look what I bought for the crew. It's Danish time.
Madam.
Take one and pass it
I
down.
think I'm gonna go for the blue.
Oh man, this is good. Did y'all know that Texas had a French small town?
I did not.
Had no idea.
Pretty coul.
Sometimes I think I know nothing. Every time that you start with, did you know? I'm usually like, no.
I didn't. I like to make it an honest experience for you, Daniel. We learn along the way.
I like to not read any of the agendas, so that way I'm going along with the flow.
Surprise.
So,
like it.
Surprise, I have no idea.
Like a good director should.
Like any good director.
should. So how did the Alsatians get here? Well, rewind to the 1840s, when an enterprising Frenchman named Henri Castro received a land grant from Sam Houston. He began recruiting families from Alsace, France, to start a new life in Texas. Clean water, ample farmland, endless hope. Hundreds joined him, and this town is still full of historic homes and buildings dating back to the mid-1800s. And the St. Louis Catholic Church is a must-stop. But no building tells the story of life on the French frontier of Texas better than our next stop, the Landmark Inn State Historic Site. Built in 1849 along the Medina River, this quaint limestone building served as a roadside stand along one of Texas's most popular frontier trails, connecting Matagorda Bay to Chihuahua, Mexico.
If people came back from the past, they would consider this to be the Walmart of its day.
Okay,
You know.
so that means like general dry goods.
Yes, and products out of the mill.
This is site manager David Grabitsky. He's a wealth of knowledge into what might seem like a normal building, but that tells a very unique story.
This is what it looked like in our early days.
Okay, so there was no second story?
There was no second story at that time. That was added in the 1870s as a hotel expecting a railroad.
A railroad that never came.
Never came.
Oh.
It bypassed the community.
A blessing in disguise, really, as it's likely the reason the Landmark Inn is still standing. This museum and the entire grounds tell the complex story of multiple buildings, businesses, and owners that served this diverse community from this very site. The most important of which were Bob and Rowena Vance, who saw the road as an endless river of customers. Rowena herself was a highly educated woman from the Northeast and became a keen Texas entrepreneur.
This is Rowena's house. She moved there in 1859 after 6 years of living in the back of the Vance house.
Oh, okay, so she got sick of living in the shop.
Oh yes,
She needed
very
her own
much.
place. Every building tells a unique aspect of the story, including the wash house, where a different family ran a small side hustle. All right, so this was built as a wash house for travelers on the road. And you think, oh, wash clothes? Oh no, wash people.
Wait, what?
Yep, here we go. Oh, you know, I got my brush and my dipper.
Are you sure that's what this is for?
It's been a dusty road, y'all. Hey, can you pass the soap, John? I left it up there.
Do I have to?
Yeah, here, go ahead, take my boots off.
Oh, this
Yeah.
was not in the job description.
Come on, just do it, all right? I'll pay you a nickel. Can't really even fit the dipper around me.
This is why everybody stumped back then.
Yeah, that's right. But don't worry, all your friends and neighbors are stinky too, so doesn't really matter. But by far the most profitable business on site was the grist mill.
Welcome to our 1854 grist mill. It was built by David Monroe of Seguin, and he was considered the state's best architect of the time. So,
Specialty was grist mills.
Yes.
Okay.
This is the only one that you can see.
I mean, I kind of step in here, I'm like, this is like I could live here.
Yeah. Of course, if you lived here, you'd have to put up with 2 mills grinding every day for 12 hours a day.
Oh gosh. So this thing was busy.
Yes, very busy.
While the Landmark Inn had its heyday, by the 1920s, most of the property was in shambles. That's when the Lawler family bought it, turning the mill into a hydropower generator and electrifying Castroville for the first time. They also began to uncover the site's historical significance and started the never-ending work of preserving it, eventually donating it to Texas in 1974. Preserving a place like this takes an enormous amount of work.
Yes, we're constantly doing new improvements all the time. If things wear out, we learn something new about the past. History always changes.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
Isn't that strange?
It just depends on the questions we ask of it.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
And so the preservation and discovery will never end. But there's more than old buildings to preserve.
Preservation not only of the built environment, but of the spoken environment too. The languages are very important to the environment.
Is the Alsatian language still pretty healthy in Castroville? Or?
Well, I wish I could say it were so, but it's no longer spoken on the streets much like it was about 40 years ago.
Okay.
Many of the old families are teaching their children how to speak it, so there's hope for the future.
Come on, kids, learn the language. I mean, I won't, but I don't live here. That's up to y'all. Learn the language, carry on the traditions.
Yeah.
We're all products of our past. And if we lose our past, we lose a piece of our story. Which is why it's so important that places like the Landmark Inn and the stories they tell live on forever. We now interrupt this programming to remind you to like and subscribe. Now back to the road. Speaking of old traditions, I got one here that you won't find anywhere outside of this region of Texas. But I am warning you, check your weak stomach at the door. Welcome, y'all, to Jukes. Evidently in Polish, DZ comes out ja, hence Jukes Meat Market. But I love this place. It's like an old school full service butcher shop. It's this incredible like beef jerky roadside stand, but they got one house specialty that's made right here in the back. Let's go check it out. This is where you'll find the real deal butcher shop that goes back to the 60s when it was started by the Dziuk brothers. And this is Kenton Sims carrying on the third generation of family ownership and the making of their house specialty, raw meat parisa.
And then one of the staples is the parisa, which is it's
explain
Texas
this to
tartare,
me.
man. So it's seasoned ground round with cheese, onions, salt and pepper to taste, and you eat it just like that on a cracker.
So
man.
you say tartare, makes me think it's raw.
It is. It is. There's nothing added to that to preserve it. It's just like eating a rare steak, you know, and it's 100% raw meat.
Yep, raw. And the locals can't get enough of it, as Jukes sells hundreds of pounds a week. They say you never want to know how the sausage is made, but I gotta see this.
So you got the round steak that we've trimmed the outside off of. You have the fresh onions, the super melt cheese that we use, and then the green jalapenos.
It's clean,
right?
No bacteria.
It's the equivalent of eating a rare steak. You know, you kill all that bacteria on the outside. In this case, we remove it all.
Yeah.
So get after it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
We recommend eating it within 24 hours.
Okay.
But we do have some folks that like to test that. You know? So
some of the old timers.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I'm 80. It ain't killed me yet.
Yeah. Lone Star beer fixes anything, right?
I know. It doesn't look that appetizing or ready to eat at all. It looks like a big uncooked hamburger patty.
That's it. Are you ready to try it or what?
Heck yeah, I am. Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Castroville caviar.
This is it, dude. Whatever you want, get after it.
Fresh jalapeno, cheese, great flavor up front.
It's good stuff.
A lot of onion. That's more than good stuff, dude. That's awesome.
Oh yeah.
That is great. My brain doesn't want to think I'm eating raw meat.
Yeah.
My brain just wants to keep going after it.
That's the hardest part for people to get over. Is to go, really? We're really gonna do this? But once they do it, they're like, man, that's pretty good.
Dude, you gotta try this.
Mind over matter.
Right. Oh, that's a lot. Okay.
Or in this case, mind over meat.
Go.
But if my stomach's involved, it trumps everything.
Wow. Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Isn't that good?
Winner. Parisa dinner.
What I love about it is it's an old school thing. This
really
isn't
is.
something new that some hipster in a fancy restaurant dreamed up. Like this is the way it's done by old timers in old town, small town meat markets.
For a long time, you know.
Well, thank you, brother.
No problem.
That was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Hey, Chet, I have a question. Can we get a meat grinder for the office?
Little tabletop grinder, little parisa for lunch.
Why not? Cooking for me just got a whole lot easier.
Yeah,
I don't
it
even have to start the fire. I just grind it up.
Ready to go.
Well, 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 guys, look what I just found down here in my floorboard. More sweets.
Oh my god.
And then I take this cookie,
clearly.
and then y'all are left with the rest.
Wow.
Gosh.
I figure you needed something sweet after the raw sausage you ate.
Hey, you got a little bit of South Texas in your teeth there.
Oh, hey! You see, there's some Rio Grande in my tooth by my bicuspid. When you approach something Texan-shaped, do you have a certain way you attack it?
Well, at first you hold it by the panhandle, obviously.
Well, look.
Obviously.
It's just sort of like a handle on Texas already.
And then South Texas is just naturally the first thing that goes.
Gosh, it is. It is set up like that.
I would kind of start out with Big Ben myself.
No, Big
ahead.
Ben, it's like it's already a bite that's missing.
hard to.
You're
cock it
missing.
that
That's
way.
why it's the Big Ben. It's missing
Yeah,
the
you
bite
did.
already.
Like that. Somebody
Yeah,
did
you
take a
probably
real
do
bite.
RGB first. That's true.
RGB.
Yeah, you know what? Once Pleasanton and Pearsall are gone, then you kind of have to go over toward Lufkin. Eat your Lufkin right here.
I can't concentrate. My blood sugar level is just like going through the roof right
We're gonna be
now.
wired after
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, raw meat and sweets might not be the best idea. I think we better get out and walk some of this off. And here in town, they have an excellent city park that's half hills and half river. All right, so this is the Rio Medina, otherwise known as the Medina River. But look at the color of the water. It's got this incredible turquoise hue. And then the winter Spanish moss blowing in the background almost feels fake, like we stumbled into something that got set designed for Disney. Let's see how far that way we can go. These bald cypress trees with their twisted, knobby roots definitely feel straight out of a fairy tale. And if this is a Disney movie, well, down here is where the witch lives. But my favorite spot out here is much more enlightening. It's a short hike to one of the highest points in Castroville. It is kind of cool that the entire west side of Castroville has this sort of hilltop ridgeline. So we should get some pretty good views of town right up here at the top. Besides great views, at the top, you'll also find a single cross overlooking the community. Oh, this is awesome. Check it out. So cool. I did not know the view would be this good. Look, there's the St. Louis Church. We were just there this morning. There's the river. You got the plaza. See, this is kind of cool. You can imagine the French settlers got to this hill right here. They looked out over this land and said, yeah, that's where I want to build my city, right there. You know, I've never been to Alsace, France, but honestly, how could it get any better than this?
Really?
Yes.
I mean, no, this is great. I like it.
Thank you.
I'm just saying.
I guarantee you the views in Alsace, France don't have a DQ. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not going to argue with that.
It isn't France, but it isn't supposed to be. The folks who immigrated here were in search of a new land and a new life, leaving everything behind except for the faith and hope that guided them. And standing up here, you can feel God's providence over all of Texas. Well, folks, the sun is getting lower, and this poor boy is tired. So tonight, we're gonna have another French delicacy, but with a New World spin. Specifically, a New Orleans spin, as we head to Paris Street Po' Boys. This local favorite occupies an old home built in 1853, bringing Big Easy tradition here to Texas. Here are the owners, Jerry and Shelly Mackey. What does this say?
You hungry?
You hungry? Is that Cajun? Is that country English? What is that?
You know, it's just a little slang we picked up on the road one day. Mixed what we are doing here with the Cajun and the Texas, and it just kind of rolled together great.
When I first heard about this po' boy place, like, all right, we got a New Orleans style po' boy joint in a French town. I was like, I don't know if that fits. I was, wait, it's French. It's all French. Yes, and so is Jerry. He and his wife grew up outside of New Orleans. They moved to Castroville only to find out later that Jerry's family is Alsatian to the core.
But the name is Cusho. It's very Alsatian. So,
okay.
And it's
Yeah.
his grandmother, so.
Without even knowing, we
Yeah,
we
you
had
found,
some.
you gravitated,
That's right.
you got pulled in by the spiritual tractor beam
That's
Yeah.
right.
to where y'all were meant to be
In
the whole
one
time.
weekend.
Yes.
One weekend. Paid for the weekend and never left. It really is our story.
Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
I guess when you find your people, you just know it. But something that crosses all cultural lines, the po' boy. And Paris Street makes them as authentic as they come outside of the French Quarter. So what's
Yes.
the magic to a good po' boy?
The bread.
The bread.
The bread, 100%. We bring our bread in from New Orleans. Nobody can really understand what it is, but it is completely different than anywhere else.
Something about
It really is.
Just
Little
something
bits of
about it.
swamp water.
That's
they
right.
just sprinkle on top of
Something.
it.
Exactly.
It makes all the difference. I mean, that's the thing that everybody hears, like, oh, po' boy sandwiches. And I'm like, well, not really. You know, we're talking about seafood sandwiches. And
Yeah.
they got excited then.
They do all the classic po' boys, oyster, shrimp, alligator, or you can go for the serious NOLA classic, reef and beef. All right, let's make a sandwich.
All right. Starts off with obviously the New Orleans bread.
Yep.
So that comes with the lettuce, tomato, mayo, pickle. And then we add our fried shrimp.
All right. The shrimp looks like it's got a little bit of Cajun dust in
Oh,
it, too.
yes. Yep.
I was once told by someone from New Orleans that if you can count the number of shrimp on a shrimp po' boy, they did it wrong.
That's right. You want to make sure that you get a good shrimp bite in every bite of your sandwich.
Okay, all right,
sir.
good
Yeah.
to know.
All right, so we're gonna come over here and we're gonna add some of our roast beef, cook it in the oven there for about 4 hours.
Sitting in the gravy.
Oh yeah, use that good jus.
It's surf and turf for po' boys.
That's
Boys
right.
without money for filet mignon and lobster.
That's right.
We get shrimp and roast beef.
And
That's
now
all right.
we'll put some of this gravy on here.
Woo!
This gravy is made with the jus from our roast beef.
That is a
That's the
fork
beef
and
and
knife
beef
kind of
right there.
sandwich right there. I don't know.
Yes.
How do you
Yeah.
even start to
You
attack
just-
something like
You
that?
just get in and you get messy, man. That's all.
Okay.
That's all you can do.
Woo! All right, I gotta find a table quick. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it. This
Absolutely.
looks amazing.
Yes. Enjoy.
I'm warning you right now, it's gonna get all over my face. That is good. It's funny. It's like two different worlds colliding because you got that good spicy Cajun shrimp, and then you've got like this whole just top layer of country cooking. Look at it. There's something special about this bread. You see how the top kind of crumbles crusty, but the inside is still soft? I mean, this ain't just a normal loaf of French bread. There is something magic in this bread. It would be giving up to eat this with a fork and a knife. Am I right?
Oh yeah, completely.
Well. I tell you, it is places like Paris Street Po' Boys that make me never want to stop day trip in Texas. I don't care where you go, you're gonna find restaurants that surprise you in the best of ways. As the French say, at least the Cajun French, laissez le bon temps rouler. Oh, come on now. Get back in there. No shrimp left behind. You know what I gotta say, I'm having so much fun in this town, we may just stick around for the night. A little extended day trip, if you will. All right, y'all, so it is called the Landmark Inn, and believe it or not, you can actually still stay in this 170-year-old building. Sounds like fun, right? They do have flushable toilets, don't they?
I hope.
I hope so too. 170 years, that's a lot of history. And historic inns often have historic guests who, well, refuse to check out. But I shouldn't even think about that. Nice and cozy. I mean, a little creepy maybe, but I like it. I like it. Yeah, this'll do. They say Texas is like a whole other country, and in Castroville, that country is France. From its historic sights to its historic bites, this town is truly unlike any other and offers all trippers a true taste of Alsace. So this is a good idea, right? Staying here for the night? Okay. So, as the French say, adieu. But as we say here in Texas, Howdy, y'all. Follow along with my adventures at Chet Tripper on Instagram and at The Day Tripper TV on Facebook and YouTube. Or head to thedaytripper.com for travel guides, past episodes, and info on our mobile app and Team Day Tripper. This episode was made for y'all with the help of our awesome partners. Check the caption for more info. Howdy, y'all. Chet the Day Tripper here. Thanks so much for tripping with us. Remember, while you're here, like this video, subscribe to our channel so that we can stay out there on the road and keep on tripping. Did we miss anything in this town? Leave us a comment, let us know. We love finding out about new stops with all of your tips. And if you love Epic Texas Day Trips, remember to check our channel. We got a lot of them on there. Also, don't forget, if you want some sweet Day Tripper merch or another cool Texas-made product, come see us in Georgetown at the Day Tripper World Headquarters. You can also shop online if you check the link down there in the caption. All right, y'all. Bye con Dios, amigos.